Hello and welcome to this full yin and yang class focusing on our Manipura Chakra. So this class is going to be really good for energy and strength. And like all things, we need a good balance in life. So in the description below, I've got a free PDF for 7 steps to creating balance that you can download right now. And I'll meet you on the mat. Okay, let's begin. So we're going to start at the top of our mats, feet hips distance apart. Inhale, sweep the arms up above your head. Cross the right foot over the left. Grab your right wrist with your left hand. Take it over to the left. So you've got a nice stretch down the side of the right body here. Just hold here for a few breaths. Try not to lean forward or lean back. Just focusing on the side body here. Inhale your hands back up. Left foot crosses over the right. Grab your left wrist with your right hand. Lean it over to the right. So now you've got that stretch all down the left side. Couple breaths. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, fold forward. Slight bend in the knees here. Make sure to relax your whole upper body. Release the head. Just let everything dangle. Maybe shake your head yes and no. Make sure your neck is nice and loose. Nice deep, even inhale and exhales. Then slowly roll all the way back up to standing. Shoulders are the last thing to roll back, then head comes up. Okay, let's take a Vinyasa. So feet hips distance apart. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, slight bend in the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the legs, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees as much as you can so your fingers touch the mat. Take your right foot back, lower the right knee, lengthen through your spine. So low lunge. Couple of breaths here. Left knee comes back to meet the right. Plant the hands, hover over your hands. Chin and chest come down into cobra. So baby cobra, keep them elbows tucked in. Push back up onto your knees, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. So maybe paddle out the legs here, bending one knee, bending the other. Lengthen through your spine, so try to push your chest back towards your thighs here. Lift your bum up as high as you can. And then feet together at the back of the mat. The right leg lifts high, toes still pointing towards the ground. Bend the right knee, fingertips of the right hand, and then bring your right foot through in between your hands. Remember, you can pick it up and put it there if you need to. Lower the left knee, lengthen through the spine. Tuck the toes of the left foot, come up off of the left knee, just a few rocks, and then rock your left foot up to meet the right, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Plant the hands. Left foot steps back, lower the left knee. Couple breaths here, lengthen through the spine. You can come up onto your knee if you want. Fingertips back to the mat if you had them up. Right foot comes back. Hover over your hands, chin and chest. Maybe this time into a higher cobra. Exhale, release back down. Come back up onto your knees, tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Feet together at the back of the mat. Left leg raises high. Bend the left knee, fingertips to the left hand. Left foot comes forward in between the hands. Lower the right knee. Lengthen through your spine again. You can come up onto that left knee if you want. Fingertips down to the mat if you had them up. Tuck the toes of the right foot, come up off of the right knee. Just a few rocks and then rock your right foot up to meet your left. Forward fold, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. And bend the knees, sweep the hands all the way up over your head. Exhale, hands to heart. Left leg is going to step all the way behind. Plant your foot so your toes are pointing towards the top left corner of your mat. Warrior one. So raise the arms in line with your ears. Knee over ankle of your right leg, toes are pointing forward. Hips are squared off towards the top of the mat. So if you need to widen your stance, so that as if your feet are kind of on train tracks, you can do so. Find wherever you need to for warrior one. Couple breaths here. Make sure them shoulder blades are going down the back and they're not tucked up towards your ears. And we're going to turn to face the back of the mat now. So the hands are going to come in line with the shoulders. As you do, you're going to turn the feet towards the back of your mat, bend into that left leg, warrior two to the back of your mat. So you might want to rearrange your feet here. Try to make sure your left ankle is in line with your right arch. Hips are now squared to the long side of your mat, so the side of your mat. Arms are in line with your shoulders. You're looking over your left hand. Warrior two. I'm going over this sequence a little bit slow to start with, and then we're going to speed it up. Flip your left hand. The right hand is going to slide down the back leg while your left hand goes up. So you're not reaching back. You're not dumping all your weight into that right leg. You're reaching up. So my hand is just there for support, but I could take it off of my right leg. And then come in forward again, your left elbow to your left knee. Right arm is going to sweep in front of the face and in line with the body. Extended side angle pose. Now, if you've got a block, you might want one handy at the back of your mat. I'm just going to come forward slightly so you can see. We're going to release the hands where your block is. So my block is in front of my left foot and slightly over to the side. I'm going to bend into that left leg, bring all your weight in, lift your right leg up, lift your right hand up. So you can either hold onto a block or you can just hold onto the floor. Half moon pose. Slight bend in your left leg if you need to. Open up to the side. If you want here, you can see if you can grab your right leg and come into sugarcane pose. If you can't, just stay in half moon. Release the leg if you had it in sugarcane. Square off your hips to the front of the mat. So bring both hands down to the mat. Your right leg, toes are now pointing towards the floor. Bend that right knee in, bend into your left leg. We're going to bring it through, lower down onto our bums. So I'm just doing this roughly to start with. We're going to speed it up afterwards. Lift your feet, lift your hands, boat pose. So using your core muscles here to hold yourself up, lengthen through the spine. Release that back down to the mat, so feet flat on the floor, hips distance apart. Hands are going to come behind you, fingertips pointing towards your feet. Just lift up your stomach, reverse tabletop a second. Lower back down. Cross the legs in front of you. Roll over onto your hands, tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Vinyasa. So either drop your knees or come forward to plank. Chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. Up dog's just your hands and your feet on the floor. Back to downward facing dog. Bending both your knees, look in between your hands. Either step or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, sweep the arms all the way up. Hands come together. Exhale, hands to heart. If you used a block on that side, just grab your block and place it at the other end of your mat for when we come up there in a second. So now you should be facing the back of your mat. Feet hips distance apart. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Right leg this time steps all the way back. Warrior one. So your toes are pointing off to the side slightly. Make sure you can square your hips off to the back of your mat. Shoulder blades away from the ears. Let's open up to the front of our mat. So as the hands come down in line with the shoulders, we're going to turn the right heel in, left toes out. Make your way to warrior two to the front of your mat. So you might need to rearrange your feet again, maybe widen the stance. Just make sure that your hips are now facing the long side of your mat. Shoulders are in line with your hands. Flip the right hand, reverse warrior. Reach up. Right elbow comes to right knee, left arm sweeps in front of the face, side angle pose. Looking down towards your mat, half moon. So either grab the floor or grab the block and lift up to half moon pose. You can look straight ahead, you can look down at the floor, you can look up to the top hand if you want. Just try to open up the hips here. If you'd like, bend the left foot. See if you can grab the left foot with your hand and then kick into that hand. Try and open up your hips a little bit more. Opening back up to half moon. Square off your hips so both hands reach down to the mat. Bend both of your knees. Bring the left foot through without touching the ground. Maybe come all the way down. Boat pose, so your left foot doesn't touch the ground when you come through. If it does, it doesn't matter. Just get to boat pose however you can. Lengthen through the spine. If you want to straighten the legs here, you can. Lower both feet to the ground. Hands come behind you, toes pointing towards your feet. Lift your pelvis up. Reverse tabletop. If you want to relax the neck back, then you can. Just listen to your body. Lower back down. Cross your legs. Roll over to tabletop. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. If you want to take a short child's pose here, you can. Or you can take a vinyasa. So either lowering your knees or roll forward to plank, chaturanga, cobra or up dog, downward facing dog. Bending both the knees, look in between your hands, either step or hop. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. And bend the knees, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. If you use the block, again, take it to the back of your mat, ready for in a second. I'm going to go through that same sequence again, this time a little bit faster. So feet hips distance apart. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Left foot steps back, warrior one. Turn to face the back of your mat, warrior two. Flip the left hand over, reverse warrior. Your next exhale, side angle pose, left elbow to left knee, right arm sweeps in front. Releasing the hands, look either towards that block or grab the floor to half moon pose. Don't worry if you wobble or come out or lose your balance. If you want, you can grab that back foot, open up to sugar cane. It's a lot easier with a block. Release that, square off your hips, fingertips to the mat, bend into both knees, maybe coming through without that right foot touching the mat, boat pose. Maybe without your fingers as well. I had to touch the floor then. Lower the feet down, hands come behind, reverse tabletop. Release your bum back down. So when I sit my bum down from reverse tabletop, I push it back as well so it's in between my hands. Cross your feet, roll over. It just gives you a little bit more room to roll over. Downward facing dog. Vinyasa. Come through to chaturanga or lower the knees. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Look in between your hands, step or jump. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, if you're using the block, move it back up to the top of your mat. Other side, last time. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Right foot steps back, warrior one. Warrior two to the front of your mat. Flip your right hand, reverse warrior. Extended side angle, right elbow to right knee, left arm comes in front. Looking down towards your mat, grab your block or your mat, open up, half moon pose. If you want to grab that back foot, you can grab it and open up a little bit more. Release the foot, look down towards the mat, grab the mat with your fingertips, bend into both your knees, come through, boat pose. Release the feet, hands come behind, reverse tabletop. Release the bum back down to the mat, cross the legs, roll over onto all fours, downward facing dog. Vinyasa. Lower the knees or chaturanga, cobra or up dog, to downward facing dog. Just take a few breaths here, maybe paddling out the legs if you want. Lengthen through that spine, push your chest towards your thighs. And then feet together at the back of the mat. Lower your knees wide. So lower your knees as wide as the mat. Untuck the toes. Sit your sit bones back down to your heels. And relax in child's pose. So release the chest, release the head. Relax your head onto the mat. Just let everything go. Release any tension. Come back to your natural breath. Very slowly lift your head, walk your hands back to your heels. We're going to come into our yin side of the class now. So if you do have any props, any pillows, any blankets, any bolsters, then that would be great. You don't need the props, you can just use pillows or cushions. We're going to come straight onto our stomachs. And we're going to place a prop. So I've got a bolster, but you can use pillows or rolled up blankets underneath your chest. Bring your hands out in front. So it's like a Sphinx pose, but it's a bit more supported. So your elbows are a little bit more in front of your shoulders because you've got the prop underneath you. If you want, you can also put a block in front of you so that you can relax your head. So just a slight back bend here. And then once you've found a comfortable position, just let your body relax. So don't hold on to any tension anywhere here. We want to go to about 60% of our limit so that we can relax in these poses. You don't want to be in this pose and thinking how much you want to get out of it. So find a place where you can completely relax, completely give in. Find a nice even inhale and exhale. Maybe you want to push yourself up a little bit higher. Maybe you want to come lower. Listen to your body. Just a very gentle back bend here. If you're feeling quite relaxed here and it doesn't feel like it's doing much, I want you to just take your hands out a little bit further. So kind of as if your hands are like a cactus, but then push them out in front of you further. Spread your fingers, lift your chest up. So you've got slight support from your prop, but you're just lifting yourself up a little bit higher. So my arms are straight here, looking straight ahead. Nice deep inhales and exhales. Make sure that it's nice and even and that it's not restricting your breath. If it's restricting your breath, come down a little bit. That's a sign that you've gone too far. In the arms, release your neck down a little. Bring your hands out to the side. Just very slowly push yourself back up onto your knees. Move any props that you had out of the way. Roll over onto your side. Okay, so we're going to take the left leg out long. The right leg out long. The left leg is going to cross over the right. We're going to lean onto our right hip slightly and just bring the hands to the side. So the side and behind us. And we're just going to rest here for a second. So we're all going to be feeling this in different places. It just depends where you're tight. Just hold this for a few breaths. You can bring the right hand out a little bit further if you want. Just a slight twist. So you want to be making sure that you can feel something. Sorry, I got an itch. But that it's not restricting your breath. It doesn't feel like, you're not in this pose thinking, oh my God, I want to get out of this. You can feel it, but it feels good. Or it could even feel awkward if you've never moved like this before. Just a couple more breaths here. And then bringing your hands back up. Any props that you had, just bring them behind you. I'm going to untangle the left leg, bend the knees up, roll over onto your side. Bring the prop forward, and again, it's going to go under our chest. We're going to lean over this. So our knees are stacked on top of each other. They're pointing over to the side. Your left leg is on top of your right, but your belly is trying to turn face down towards the mat. And again, just relax here, release your head, let everything go. When you're ready, slowly lift your head, plant your hands, lift yourself back up. Sit back onto your bum and swing your legs out to the other side. So bring whatever prop you had over to the other side. We'll roll it out the way first. Bring the left leg long, the right leg over. Turn to face the left side. And the hands are going to come out again slightly behind you. So you're slightly leaning back and slightly leaning forward so that you can twist. And just hold here for a few breaths. And slowly releasing the hands, bring your prop in. Untangle your right leg. Bend both your knees up, place them on top of each other on the side. Then come down and lean over your bolster. So turn your stomach towards the mat. And then you can use your hands or your arms as a pillow. You can use a block as a pillow. And just completely let go. When you're ready, lift your head. Place your hands on the mat. Very slowly lift yourself up. Roll over straight onto your back. Move your props off to the side. We're going to come into a supported bridge. So grab a prop. Try not to make it too high. So if you have got a bolster, that's great. If you've got a blanket, you can fold it up. I wouldn't recommend a block right now unless you put it on the lower setting. Lift your hips up, place the prop underneath your sit bones. And then just take a moment to relax in this position. Palms face up down the side of the body. Look up towards the ceiling, close the eyes, just let everything go. If you want, you can take your legs long here. If it feels a bit funny on the low back, then come back up. If you start getting any pins and needles or cramping anywhere, then just slowly come out of it into a position where you don't feel that. If your legs are out long, let your feet flop open. You can always bring your legs back in when you need it. Very slowly, if you had your legs out, bring them back in. Take a couple breaths. When you're ready, lift your hips up. Move your prop out of the way. I like to roll mine down, because we're going to make our way into Shavasana. So if you're in quite a cold room, grab a blanket or something to put over you. If you want, you can place the prop that you had underneath your knees. Just give your low back a little bit of a rest. Hands come down by the sides, palms face up, feet flop open. Let your whole body feel heavy and relax into the earth. Place your hands onto your stomach. Take a nice big inhale to the belly. Feel the belly expanding. Exhale. Feel it release. Feel it contracting. 2 more. Nice big inhale. And let it go. Last one. Nice big inhale. And let it go. Come back to your natural breath. Let's relax here in Shavasana for a few moments. If your mind starts wandering, bring it back to your breath. Focus on feeling that inhale and exhale through the stomach. Release the facial muscles, release the jaw. And start to slowly deepen the breath. Start wiggling the fingers and the toes. Maybe take a nice big stretch overhead if that feels good. Make yourself nice and long. And then roll over onto one side. When you're ready, push yourself up to seated. So inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me today. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you liked this class, and I will see you next time.